Welcome to Augmented Teachings. Here at this channel, we will talk about the things that will inspire us to think better, feel better, and in turn be better. Together we will uncover spiritual common sense while we shun fear and judgment by enjoying acceptance and recognizing commonalities. We believe compassion and consideration for all humanity is the path to enlightenment. Welcome home. Hello and welcome to Augmented Teachings, where we'll talk about the things that will inspire us to think better, feel better, and in turn be better. I'll be your host, Todd Michael Jackson. I'm here with my co-host, Brandi. How you doing, Brandi?
That's me. I'm so happy to be here. We are live on YouTube for the very first time.
I know. It's so much fun, and we're doing live. It's so exciting. It's like
we have a lot of fun here. So
right,
it's
and
great.
it was like, we're going to make mistakes, but that's okay, because that's part of the show. And
that's what we're here to do. We're here to develop our soul and to learn and grow and most importantly, have fun.
Exactly.
That's what I like to add to it. Have fun.
And we have like kind of a new studio kind of going thing.
We
here.
do,
We have a brand new green screen.
What?
Oh, wait. That's real. Never mind. It's all real stuff here today.
Because this segment is Real Talk with Todd and Brandi.
These are practical effects. So
what are we talking about today?
We are talking about why we reincarnate. We talk about, reincarnate, and Todd, you just don't stop about it. Why do we reincarnate?
Why?
Because even Science of Mind is like, hey, you know what? Mm-hmm. We don't really go down that, because why would you come back? Why? What's this all about? Why?
Because in Science of Mind, the base philosophy from my understanding is that there's a belief that the soul is ongoing forever because the soul is an individualized expression of God.
Yes, and
that's true.
Yes.
But this isn't an or, this is an and so we are going to augment that with our understanding based off of our experience, our research, and really our intuition. So,
right, and as with my NDE research, I've come to the same conclusion. Mm-hmm. It's our souls do not die ever. Mm-hmm. And these souls are little jewels, all right? And they hold wisdom and experiences within them. Mm-hmm. And those continue to go until eventually they're given back to God. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes God's gem and God's jewel, or source or spirit, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
All right? It's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. So really, what I've kind of broken down a little bit why we reincarnate. First things first. One of the things that we do when we come to Earth is we go through the veil of forgetfulness. You have a different name for it, right? I'm not sure. What is that called again?
I don't know.
You forgot. All right.
Yeah,
but anyway, forgot, right? But you go
the
through
veil of forgetfulness. I forgot.
The veil of forgetfulness is what you go through, and you forget what God's love feels like. If I were to tell you what God's love feels like, you'd be like, oh yeah, I would do anything for that. I would do anything for that entity that is God. That isn't an entity, but the source that is God. You would do anything for it. If you were able to feel the love of God within another person, which is our soul, you would embrace that person and never be able to let go. Because it's so powerful and the love is so intense.
It's like magnetic and magnetizing.
Yes, there's no drug that would compare to just the feeling of God in its raw form. Mm-hmm. And when we realize, we go back home and...
Now home, you said, because you've talked about that before.
Right. This is, we're spiritual beings having an earthly experience. Mm-hmm. This is just a classroom and a place to create experiences. Mm-hmm. God is a creator. We are the experiencer. Mm-hmm. All right. So that is the second part, actually, that is our job. Our job is to come back and experience. God cannot experience Earth. God can create Earth through vibration at the atomic level, but God cannot experience it. Just, I think I've explained before, there are, like, say a computer can randomly generate Minecraft, but the computer cannot experience it. The player has to experience it.
Right.
And that's the same thing that happens with source or spirit and us. Our souls were created to inhabit these vessels. Mm-hmm. These vessels were evolved to handle the DNA has been leaned on enough by God to allow us to enter these vessels. Mm-hmm. And that evolution helps us enter and use these vessels like little vehicles. They're vehicles for learning and vehicles for experiencing. And that is literally our job, is to inhabit vessels. Not just this classroom, though. That's what people sometimes don't realize, is that there is more than one classroom. We, as humans, have not made just one classroom for learning and experiencing.
Right, exactly.
God has not either, or Source has not either. Whenever there's an opportunity to create a classroom, Spirit does it. And there are classrooms all throughout the universe, but far enough away from each other to where they can't interact. So the classrooms can't be destroyed by other classrooms. Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about, the idea that we don't reincarnate, because why would we want to come back over here and do this whole thing all over again? But the missing link to that for me, of what I've really come to realize, is that we don't come back at that same level. Like, you're not going to go back to kindergarten over and over and over. You're going to go to kindergarten, and then based off of your growth, you're going to go to the next level, to the next level. And you're going to reincarnate in different vessels, but you're still that same soul.
Right. And not only that, and with NDE researching that I've done, the real purpose is, the more you develop your soul, the better companion you become for God. The more you have to offer. So if you have a soul that has not been overcome fear and judgment and hate and dysfunctional egos, then you're not that great of a companion for God. And you will ask to come back and do a better job so that you can give more back to Source. So a lot of times people will reincarnate different areas, different ethnicities, different countries, gender to gender, different religions. And as a soul grows and learns more and more, then the chance of that soul coming back becomes less and less, because there's less to learn here.
Right, exactly.
There's experiences to be made, but if there's no growth left to do, if you've come here and you really walk the walk of love really well, you don't have to be perfect, but well, the chance of you coming back is less. And you might find other classrooms.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
You'll find other classrooms
You'll incarnate,
to develop your soul even farther.
Absolutely, because we go where our soul can develop the most.
Right.
And
we all don't stay in elementary school. We eventually go to middle school.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, because a lot of the testimonials is that Earth is kind of in the middle. It's not the lowest learning area. It's not kindergarten. It's definitely not high school. It's kind of more in the middle.
And I think that's what people kind of think about, like the idea of heaven and hell is like hell is lower, heaven is above us, but really they're just different states of consciousness, I believe. And so in this classroom, I believe that we do have the ability to create hell on earth, or we have the ability to create heaven on earth. And that's why somebody like me, as a metaphysical practitioner, I practice tools such as mindfulness, meditation, all the various types of meditation, and as part of my spiritual practice, to create those heavenly experiences while I'm in this vessel. I don't want to wait till I get back on the other side of the veil into heaven or home, as you say, when I'm outside of this physical vessel and I return back to Source, which is love. And there is no duality in that love. There's only love and nothing more.
Right.
And so we want to, it's interesting how you say, we want to create and become the best gem for God. Well, I think of, heaven as home, right? As this pool or an ocean or whatever, like this body of water, whatever that is. And so whatever I'm going to bring myself as, if my soul is muddied in any way, I'm going to bring some dirty mud into that pool, right? And it's not going to be pristine and clear. So same thing, like we have to take care of our physical vessels here, because we're going to co-create heaven on earth here through these vessels. Yeah, we can't experience the totality of that heaven, because like you said, this body cannot handle all of that vibration, because back home it's all a frequency, it's all vibration,
all vibration. And God's vibration is so powerful and moves so fast, it's still. And
because it's calm.
It's and
calm and peace
and that
and
vibration, which creates everything, is too powerful for these vessels to handle directly.
Right.
So we're kind of separated in these vessels to help us, and only a portion of our soul enters these vessels, and that's where our focus is right here. but there's still a piece of our soul still unable to get in. So therefore we can't carry all the attributes that our soul actually has.
Yeah.
Back home on the other side of the veil, we'll say the other side of the veil.
Other side of the veil, yeah.
All right. Our souls can do so many things. We can travel at the speed of thought, which kind of is the entry level of meditation.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I was getting there.
And, we know people's intentions before they speak. All kinds of things that our souls can do.
Yeah.
But these vessels kind of restrict us.
And going back to there's things that, we can do, these abilities. So I think the older the soul is, when they incarnate here, we get to bring some of those gifts on that other side of the veil, which is here. And so there are abilities. And when we have those abilities, it makes us easier, or it makes it easier, to tap into the other side of the veil, through meditation and things like that. So sometimes people are like, oh, it's so hard for me to meditate. I can't get there. I can't focus. That's because our soul is not used to doing it from this side.
Yes.
And having to work through the muck that we've brought over in this physical vessel.
And what we've learned as our childhoods have brought, heaped a lot of muck upon our back, and we have a harder time breaking through that. A lot of, as I like to say, we have to rise above our raising sometimes.
Oh, I love that,
Because it can be very difficult.
Rise above our raising.
And when you're able to do that, you have a better chance. But the thing is, so many people are still stuck in the quagmire of dysfunctional parents. And that can be very, it can slow down the process of growth.
And a lot of times those younger souls are still living with that state of victim consciousness that, oh, this is happening to me. It's not happening for me, And so as we learn and grow and develop, we start to live and move and have our being in this state of consciousness with the idea that this is happening for me. And there's tools that we can use to remember in that moment to get through that experience, not from a victim mentality, but from more of like a mastery level mentality. Yes. And then that's how we grow even faster.
Right.
So
I totally agree. There are children that are, physically abused, and they reenact that later in life.
Right.
And there's some children who are physically abused and say, I will never do that to another human being, and learn not to do that because they were victims of it.
Yeah.
There's a difference between different consciousness of different souls in these children.
Right.
So, and I think, like I said, working the puzzle, unconditional love, and we are the experiencer. And the thing is in between lifetimes, so usually we come back 4 to 6 months later. We'll come back, but on the other side of the veil, there's no time. You know what I'm saying? So we're there for thousands and thousands of years in between our incarnations. So as I think I've told this story before. As I tell my mom, I said, my mom said, I'm not coming back to this place.
Oh, when she was passing.
Yeah, she was towards the end, maybe the last year she was here, and my dad was almost passing or had just passed, and I said, would you want to eventually, say you're in heaven for 10,000 years, would you want to come back and fall in love with Dad again? She goes, after 10,000 years? I'm like, yeah, 10,000 years. She's like, yeah, maybe. I said, fine, it's still 4 to 6 months. I'll see you then. So it's after a while, how you're in a relationship and you break up, and then you're alone, and you think about the good parts of that relationship, and you get back with that person, you're like, oh my God, now I realize why I broke up with you.
Yeah.
Same thing. So when we get back home, we're like, I kind of miss that thing. I miss ice cream. Yeah. I miss going out on, I'd like to go on a cruise. You start planning these things for yourself.
Because you want to experience
it again.
Yeah.
Right. You remember the highlights.
And so it reminds me of, in an earlier broadcast that we had, you were talking about, we are making a movie.
Yes.
What kind of movie are we making? Because when we go back home on the other side of the veil, we get to relive those experiences through our emotional body, I guess, not through our physical body. So we can't physically go back to that cruise or whatever it is, but we can take those emotions and those vibrations that we felt and we imprinted on, the tapestry of life, and we get to revisit that because there is no time and space.
Right.
And so, you had spoke about, well, what kind of movie are we creating? What kind of memories are we creating? A 2-star, a 4-star, a 5-star?
Right.
And how we get to create those 5-star memories and we get to relive and share is how? How do we get to do that? How do we get to create those things?
Well, we create those things one day at a time.
Yeah.
And another thing is I wanted to say was, not only are we creating this for ourselves, but if we're able to give back, we're creating a little bit better of a movie for everybody else.
Because we're all in that same frequency. We're all in that same puddle of love, basically, And
we're all connected.
Absolutely.
On the other side, we're completely connected. And one thing I wanted to bring up is, a lot of times people are like, well, reincarnation is not in the Bible, so you guys are full of stuff.
Full of hooey.
Full of hooey. And I was like, wait a second. And I've done my research. Reincarnation was in the Bible. It was. And that's one of the things that the big travesty of religion today and the Bible today is, it's been changed so many times. And I've done my research, and in the Council of Nicaea back in the year 325, I believe what it was, they took out all scriptures that referred to reincarnation because they wanted more converts into Christianity. Because they had too many people saying, I'll be good next lifetime because there's a reincarnation. I don't want to be good right now. I'm having a good time drinking and gambling and whoring around.
I don't want to grow.
I don't want to grow right now.
Yeah.
And young souls don't.
Right.
Young souls
they want to stay comfortable.
Right. So they
don't want to grow.
So what they did is they made the constraint of time. You have one lifetime. They had the constraint of time to add more want to be good now and join Christianity. So they took all the scriptures out at the Council of Nicaea. And I learned all this stuff really from the book Beyond Belief, The Secret Gospel of Thomas by Elaine Pagels.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Who went through and saw the scriptures and was like, wait, this is why this is this way, and this is why this way.
Yeah.
And a lot of theologians and religious scholars won't talk about it, because a religious scholar will take what supports their belief and leave the rest.
So it's kind of like picking and choosing.
Right, because they already have a belief system and they try to find things to corroborate that.
Because they have an agenda, a certain agenda, and they want to match that.
Well, a biblical scholar will take all the information and adjust their belief to what that is.
Oh, okay.
And she's a biblical scholar, not a religious scholar.
Oh, okay.
So she takes it all for what it is,
and it kind of breaks it down that way. Okay.
Right. So a lot of these scriptures have been cast as heresy because it didn't support what the church was selling. So there you go. So, but it is, there were scriptures talking about reincarnation and a one-on-one relationship with God. One-on-one relationship with God, no centralized church. And that's how early Christianity actually was.
Right. Before,
they were like, we can't get converts because they think, oh, it'll be good next lifetime.
Yeah.
So it was. And that's one of the things. Please do your homework if you wish, and show me. It's really, this is how it breaks down. It was there, and now it's not. But now we're finding out through near-death experiences, through meditation, past life regressions.
There's so much being uncovered and has been uncovered.
And one of the things one of the big mind blowers when somebody has an NDE is like, I saw my past lives. I've been here, 10, 12, 15 times in different incarnations all over this world, all over this planet.
So I have a question.
Yes.
It's a little bit about that too, talking about like the past life regression and your past life review and things like that. So I had a question today. Somebody asked me if I personally have the ability to tap into what's called the Akashic Records or the Akashic Field. And can I, peek into any past lives that I've had or somebody else has had? And so in part of my training, I have had the ability to do that for myself. There are other people who have other abilities that can look into the Akashic Records of someone else. I don't personally have that ability in this vessel, in this consciousness yet.
Yes, I understand.
I haven't unlocked that yet. So what do you think about the Akashic Records and that whole realm.
Right. The Akashic record, basically, it's all your memories stored. All memories of all lifetimes stored.
So the experiences that the soul had were imprinted into this field, right?
Vibrationally
imprinted into this field. And now it's like, okay, here's the Akashic record. And each one of these, this is a lifetime, this is a lifetime, this is a lifetime, right? And so we can look into all those little pieces and we can see things. So not everybody has to have that NDE experience or go back to the other side of the veil through death of a physical vessel. We can get there through different practices, different avenues of reaching that.
Right. And the Akashic record, say this lifetime right here, I was very brave and I had no fear of anything.
Yeah.
This one I had huge amounts of wisdom and over here I had huge amounts of patience and empathy. I can take the pieces of those, go into the Akashic record, and take those.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that.
And bring them into being here.
Yes.
They're there.
Yes.
Now I can bring them here.
Yes.
Right.
So that's part of that co-creating that heavenly experience here, because all of the wisdom that my soul gained on other past lifetimes or incarnations, we'll say.
It's there.
Some people also say that there are no past lives, that there's just multiple dimensions on top of each other. So my soul is experiencing this one, and this one all at the same time, because there's really no time and space.
There is no time on the other side. So technically, that is true.
It is true.
It is true.
Yeah. That's why this is an and. It's not an or. This is our interpretation. And even we don't have all of the answers.
Right. And the Akashic record is not first day meditation.
No, it's not.
No, it takes a long time. But then again, our job necessarily isn't to go into the Akashic record.
Right.
Our job isn't to travel the speed of thought through meditation. Our job is so simple and so beautiful. It is just, I boiled it all down. All the NDEs I've read, it boils down to one thing: how you treat others. That's it.
Right. Because we're here to develop our soul.
Did you spend a lifetime raising the vibration of yourself and those around you? Or did you spend a lifetime lowering the vibration of yourself and those around you?
Right.
That's all it is. That's the whole purpose. That is the purpose of life, is to work the puzzle of unconditional love.
Right.
Now, once you learn to worship the God within each other, that's when you find enlightenment. How do you find enlightenment? Oh, that's a good. First, it's purpose of life.
Where's that journey? Where's that path?
Right. Well, what's the purpose of life? To work the puzzle of unconditional love. How do you find enlightenment? Learn to worship the God within each other.
Absolutely.
Then enlightenment comes.
Yeah.
That's hard. It takes time. We have so much fear.
It takes development.
It takes fear. There's so much fear.
Yeah.
You see a homeless guy walking down the road, you don't look at him with loving, compassionate, giving eyes. Most people don't.
As a younger soul, no.
As a younger soul, no.
Thank you.
An older soul is like, oh, look at this guy. They'll have judgment and fear, and they won't want to go near that person. So it takes time. It takes lifetimes to get to that point to where you're like, I have unconditional love for everybody. Even people that are treating me poorly, I'm like, I understand what's going on, and I forgive you for that. It's no problem. Not for me, but I forgive you. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on, because some souls are different vibrations, and one are looking to find the wrong in people, and some souls are looking to find the right in people.
Right. It's kind of like we can't get upset at a kindergartner because they don't know algebra yet, right? We've talked about that so many different times.
Great band once said that. Right.
Yeah, who was that?
That was me.
Oh, that was you. That was him. He said it. No, but one of the affirmations that I tell myself through meditation is, I am pure love's essence. I am the essence of pure love. That is my true divine nature.
Your soul definitely is.
Right. So I can bring that and affirm that for myself now. And then it's like something shifts within my physical vessel. I get to feel that vibration, because now I'm vibrating at that frequency of I am love. I am the expression of love, which love is a synonym for God. So I am the expression of God. And in Science of Mind, we learned that there is that within me that is also an individualized expression of God, of Source. So I can co-create with that mind, that's why it's called science of mind, because there is only one mind. And, Ernest Holmes was the founder, and he says that it's the thing itself, whether you call it God, source, the universe, first cause, whatever that is, there's only one thing.
Right.
And I am an individualized expression of that one.
Right. And that's the thing is like, you're God and my God.
Right.
It's like, wait, no, God's vibration creates at the atomic level. The vibration and energy that spins the atoms in this pen is the same God that spins the atoms in this pen. Same God.
Right.
It's not like my God has this pen and your God has that pen. No, there's only one God creating vibrationally at the atomic level.
And that's why I like to think of it as the original first cause.
Right.
Because there's only one first cause and everything else is an effect.
Right.
And that first cause is love.
Right.
So
love
when
is
we can
it.
remember that each one of us, I am an incarnation of love, of God. You are an incarnation of love,
Most
of
days,
God.
yeah.
We're human. We're having a human experience, right? We're spiritual beings having a human experience.
I'm not perfect. It'd be way cool if I was, but I'm not.
But that's the whole idea behind namaste. It's like the God within me recognizes and honors the God within you. It's not like this. I mean, some people use it as a whole woo-woo thing, but really it's like, no, I'm honoring myself within you. I'm honoring yourself within me, because there's only one self, and it's the God self.
Right. And that's the thing is, it's like, yes, our souls are direct representations of God. They forget because we're in these vessels.
Well, and that's why I think, I don't know, don't quote me, but was it in the Bible that says we are made in the image and likeness of God?
Yes.
That doesn't mean that we look like God. It's that we are made with the same atomic frequency that God is.
Right. Like
we just happen to be contained in a physical vessel, right? Because we're living in a 3D reality.
Right. And as I tell people from the NDE perspective, the fundamental is the vibration of God will create a vessel with 2 arms, 2 legs, a torso, a head, and walks upright. So, quit slouching. That's it. It creates a vessel that is in that image and that shape. That is the vibration of God will create a vessel like that. So you see a dog and a cat, that's not created in the same vibration. It's a different vibration that creates that that form.
What's the purpose of that form, do you think?
The purpose of this form is to create the highest level of soul available here now at this time. But if you look at other entities, they also have 2 arms, 2 legs.
I know, that's what I was thinking,
and walk upright.
Right.
Maybe much farther along than us. Right? And that's the whole thing. They're also made in God's image because they have the same shape, general shape. You know what I'm saying?
The same general, right.
General shape.
Some variations, but same base shape.
Right. The details are maybe different.
Yeah.
But generally the same. So yeah, our souls are here to learn. And we'll come back as many times as necessary to learn what we need to learn so that we can give back. As God gives to us, or Source gives to us, we give back through a bounty of experiences and bounties of love and compassion and acceptance as we move around lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you.
And so it is.
And so it is. So that gives me so much, I don't know if motivation is the word, but it's like if I know what this whole thing is about, if I know the purpose of life truly,
yes,
then if I know that when I get back to the other side of the veil, when I'm out of this physical vessel and out of this state of consciousness, I'm going to have the ability to relive all of those moments that I imprinted into the Akashic field, right?
That's what we're saying.
So,
and share them.
And as we share them, we get to relive them emotionally because we're in that field of vibration.
Right.
Okay. So if I'm creating a lower vibrational experience here, I'm going to experience it on the other side, outside of the physical vessel.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why I want to create the best possible movie or experience here on planet Earth in this state of consciousness because I know what's going to happen.
Right.
Eventually, I'm going to experience that again, and I want it to be the best experience.
Right. Now, I'll put it this way.
Do it.
If you're going to sit there and watch Fox News all day long, you're creating a pizza covered in sardine heads because you're getting angry, You're getting fearful. You're getting judgmental. Your ego is getting pushed out of whack and how great you are and how horrible these other people are. You're not creating love and acceptance. You're pushing yourself out of alignment of God. God is love and acceptance forever. You feel God's love throughout the universe. And when you sit there and watch judgmental TV, you are pushing yourself out of alignment. And when you go back home, you're like, I have another whole day of watching Fox News and getting upset and getting pissed and getting angry.
Right.
What did I do on Tuesday? Same thing. Wednesday, same thing. Thursday, I had some cupcakes and then watch Fox News. Great. Enjoy your cupcakes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you want to bring that, if you want to have friends over just so you can talk horribly about other demographics or talk horribly against another political party, then you're bringing hate, anger, and judgment into that environment.
Right.
And that's horrible to come back and you're like, this is all I have to work with. It's just all this judgment and hate. When actually those people that was having judgment and hate were my friends back home. Yeah. I just didn't realize it. They just had a different perspective. They gravitated more towards the teachings of Jesus instead of the teachings of religion.
Right. And when we can take it a step up, actually, from a little bit higher perspective, from a more metaphysical, which is above the physical, it's a meta, is that we are all God. Right. We are all the same. We all come from the same source. We are just individualized expressions. So what I do to you, I'm really doing to myself.
Eventually, yes.
Yes.
Because we all join source at the end.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So we're on this journey, right?
Yes.
And this journey is not just in this incarnation. This journey is so much more than that.
Right.
And we do return back to that puddle of love. Yes, eventually, where we're all clean, everything's good, the tapestry is all clear,
things are great,
and everything's shiny, and we get to just feel this frequency of love because now we are immersed in, as and through this love. But we have to remain conscious of that we are already from that source. We are returning back to love.
Everybody's so worried about where they're going.
Right,
I know. Am I going there? Am I going there? It's like, think about where you're from.
Right.
That's the whole point. Quit thinking about where you're going and think about where you're from and meditate on that. That's where you'll find a different path of enlightenment.
Well, and what I was thinking, absolutely, and I'm reminded that like attracts like. So if I'm vibrating at a lower frequency because of anger, fear, sadness, frustration, whatever those low vibe emotions are, now I'm imprinting that vibration into the tapestry of my soul, into the Akashic records, and now I'm going to be attracting more of that through all those different lifetimes.
Right.
So we got to clear that up.
Right, and it's funny because now that people know the purpose is to actually just learn unconditional love, that is it. They can make lifetimes of accomplishments in one.
Yeah.
I'm
so glad you said that.
They could do
Absolutely.
3-4 lifetimes worth of growth in one.
Yes.
Now that they know this is what the goal is.
Because what do you say? Knowing is half the battle.
So
with that awareness of this is the purpose of life, this is why I'm here, this is what is mine to do. All right, how do I do it? Then there's avenues at which you can do that. There's practices. That's what we say. It's our spiritual tool belt.
Right.
And in that, there's a tool of mindfulness, meditation, whatever those different things are. There's also, personal development, soul development, mental, emotional, physical development. All these different things are working to develop our soul through this incarnation. And that's really all we have to remember.
Right, and it's being conscious. Like I was just talking about, if your whole fun for the day is going to a buddy's house and talking smack about people that are different than you.
And what's that doing? That's lowering the vibration.
Why don't you go over there and tell them how you admire that person?
Right,
Shift it.
Bring it up.
Consciously.
Yes.
I'm going to shift it. I want to create a good experience where my ego isn't fed, but my soul is.
There you go.
Boom. Make that happen. And when you do that on a conscious level, every single day and every single experience that you possibly can, we're human. It can be slow at times. But if you put the practice in, you will reap great rewards.
Absolutely.
For yourself and for Source.
Some good stuff.
So this has been Augmented Teachings.
Yeah.
And hope you guys enjoyed this. And we're going to try to do this maybe twice a week. Maybe we'll try. We'll see what happens.
My suggestion would be to like and subscribe.
Oh, please do.
And also click your little notification bell and hit all on there, because then you're going to get all of our notifications when we go live, when we post a video, when we post a short. Augmented Teachings is really growing, and we are so happy that you're with us. Thank you for your support, your love, your kindness, and thank you for being with us.
All right. Thank you. All right.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.